Have you ever wondered what the super rich teach their kids about money? It's probably not what you think. It's not about getting a good job and working hard, at least not in the way most of us were taught. The wealthy pass down a completely different financial mindset, a set of principles that almost guarantees their children will maintain and grow the family's fortune. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal these secrets. By the end of this video, you'll understand the core lessons that create generational wealth, and you can start applying them in your own life, no matter where you're starting from. First and foremost, rich kids are taught how money actually works. For many people, money is just something you earn from a job and then spend on bills and wants. It's a linear process: work, get paid, spend, repeat. But the wealthy teach their children that money is not just a medium of exchange, it's a tool. A powerful tool that can be put to work to make even more money. They learn about concepts like compounding interest from a young age. They are shown how saving a small amount and investing it wisely can grow into a fortune over time, all without lifting a finger. It's the difference between seeing money as a finite resource you have to constantly work for, and seeing it as a seed you can plant to grow a forest of wealth. They're taught that your money should work harder for you than you work for it. This simple shift in perspective is the foundation of everything else. A second crucial lesson is understanding leverage. Leverage is the art of using other people's resources to achieve your goals. This isn't about taking advantage of people. It's about smart collaboration and resourcefulness. The most common form of leverage they learn is financial leverage, which is using other people's money, or OPM. Why use $1 million of your own money to buy a property when you can use $100,000 of your money and borrow the other $900,000 from a bank? If the property value increases by 10%, you've made $100,000 on your initial investment of $100,000. That's a 100% return. If you had paid all cash, your return would only be 10%. Rich kids are taught to see debt not as a scary burden, but as a strategic tool to amplify their returns and scale their investments much faster than they could with their own capital alone. But leverage isn't just about money. They also learn about leveraging other people's time, or OPT. A business owner doesn't do everything themselves. They hire employees, freelancers, and experts. They leverage the time and skills of others to build something much bigger than they could alone. Think about it. There are only 24 hours in a day. No matter how hard you work, you can't create more time. But by building a team, you can effectively have hundreds or even thousands of hours working towards your goal every single day. This is the essence of scaling. They're taught to ask, "Who can do this for me?" instead of, "How can I do this?" This frees up their own time to focus on high-level strategy and vision, the things that truly drive growth. This brings us to the third and perhaps most powerful concept: understanding systems. The wealthy don't just build businesses. They build systems that run the businesses. A system is a repeatable process that produces a consistent result, ideally without direct involvement. McDonald's is a perfect example. Ray Kroc didn't invent the hamburger, but he created a brilliant system for making and selling hamburgers consistently all over the world. A franchise owner buys into that system. They don't have to figure out the menu, the marketing, or the supply chain. They just have to execute the pre-built system. Rich kids are taught to think in terms of creating these kinds of automated, self-sustaining systems. Whether it's a software company, a real estate portfolio with property managers, or an online business with automated marketing funnels, the goal is the same: create an asset that generates income whether you show up to work or not. This is how true passive income is created. It's not about finding some magic investment. It's about methodically building a machine that prints money. So, when you put it all together, what's the common thread? It's a fundamental shift from the work hard mentality to a work smart philosophy. Most people are taught to trade their time for money. Go to school, get good grades, get a safe job, and climb the corporate ladder. This is the path of an employee. It's about obedience, following instructions, and fitting into a pre-existing structure. There's nothing wrong with this path, but it has a built-in ceiling. You can only work so many hours, and you can only earn what your employer is willing to pay you. The rich teach their kids a different path. the path of ownership. They are taught to be the ones who create the jobs, not the ones who take them. They are encouraged to be decision makers, not order takers. They learn to take calculated risks, to identify opportunities, and to build assets that generate cash flow. They're not just playing the game. They're creating the game. This mindset is about control and independence. When you are an employee, your financial well-being is largely in someone else's hands. Your boss, the company's performance, the overall economy, all these factors can impact your income and job security. But when you are an owner, you are in the driver's seat. You control the asset, you make the decisions, and you reap the rewards. This doesn't mean you don't work hard. Entrepreneurs and investors often work incredibly hard, especially in the beginning. But they are working hard to build something they own, an asset that will eventually work for them. It's a short-term sprint for a lifetime of freedom, rather than a lifetime marathon on someone else's track. So how can you start teaching these principles to yourself or your own kids? It starts with education. Read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which breaks down these concepts beautifully. Start learning about investing, even if it's just with a small amount of money. Open a brokerage account and buy a share of an index fund. The experience of owning a piece of a business, however small, is transformative. Start looking for ways to create systems in your own life. Can you automate a side hustle? Can you create a digital product that sells while you sleep? Think like an owner, not an employee. Instead of just looking for your next raise, start looking for your first asset. The journey from financial dependence to financial freedom begins with a single step, but it has to be a step in the right direction. It's about changing your mindset from just earning a living to building a life of ownership, leverage, and freedom. Thank you so much for watching. If this video sparked a new way of thinking for you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that helps you build a wealthier life. Let me know in the comments which of these lessons resonated with you the most. See you in the next video.